Good morning. Today I'm talking about specifically this example can be used for paying off your bills or accomplishing a goal. But I had been struggling with certain parts of my bills and debts, and even though I listened to a lot of people, I somehow couldn't apply it to myself. Because sometimes we save and spend and make our money in different ways than other people, and it's tough when the examples are so mainstream. So I started using an example that applied to, I think, everyone, and I think maybe everyone can use this. So I thought maybe it could help someone because it helped me a great deal. And I'm just going to use the example of my consumer debt. It seemed like I could never get my consumer debt paid off and paid down, and it seemed like also when I thought of doubling the payment or increasing how much I paid monthly, that also was stressful to me. And in order to look at it a different way and to get a plan to pay it off, I just came up with this rule, and I call it the rule of 1%. And for example, if you have $100 of debt, then 1% of that is $1. So even though your credit card company could have you pay $2.50 per month, if their rule was 2.5%, each month that's 2.5% of the new amount, which means you really don't get that paid off until a very long time. And what I started thinking of, well, what if I pay 1% extra plus the interest that I'm charged each month? And the 1% I always took as $1. So in other words, $100, the next month, if let's say my normal payment was $2 and the interest was 25 cents. So the new balance would have been $97.75. But what I would do is pay an extra 1% or $1. You keep that 1% constant so that when you plan your payoff, every time you pay 1%, and of course you have to add on the interest, in 100 times you have paid your debt off, because 100 times $1 is $100. So even though the bills were coming in, I paid the bills and what they asked me to pay. Some of them it's 1.5%, some of them it's 2.5%, some of them it's 5%, and that changed with the economy. But what I started doing is I paid those bills, and I looked at the interest, and I looked at the payment, and then I always added another $1, which was 1%, or 1% of the amount that you owe. So the moral of today's story is, if you have a big problem that you want to attack, or a consumer debt issue, or a bill you want to pay, see how much you owe and figure 1% of it. Because even though you're paying the regular payment, if you want to get ahead and if you want to plan earlier, you can pay 1% usually any time during the month. And if you did that 100 times, you wouldn't have the debt anymore. So I started randomly paying 1% of things at different times, not when they were due. I just paid them what they wanted when they were due. And when I started to pay 1%, I found, things are getting paid off easier. So when I set out my plans for all my different bills now, or my saving, I'll say, what is 1% of the total? And so if I get extra money, like in the middle of the month, maybe the payment's not due until the end of the month, I just will pay an extra 1%. If you do that 100 times, the bill's paid off way sooner than you ever think. If you got to keep in mind, most bills come due once a month. And the only way you can do it shorter is either to pay in shorter time frames or to pay more than they're asking. But I think that will get your debt taken care of a lot quicker. And to me, it managed it better in my head. So, it's again that message of clarity, and it helps you plan better. Good luck, and I hope this helps someone. Thank you so much. Have a good day. This is Denver talking about the 1% rule. Thanks a lot.